Life leaves you surprised, slaps you in the eyes. And if I was a communist, a rich man would bail me. The opposite applies. The morning light, another fresh fight. I'm totally wired. My heart and I agree. The Fall was one of the most peculiar, yet one of the most eclectic bands to ever come out of punk in its heyday in the UK in the mid to late 70s and early 80s. Led by the psychosomatic singer Mark E. Smith, who was borderline insane. In fact, I think he was even diagnosed that way without the straitjacket. But then again, plenty of illegal substances he ingested led to his insanity. The Fall was all over the map, and they weren't the most polished sounding band around. A lot of their stuff was out of tune, yet somehow it clicked. Subject matter, they tackled everything from hip priests to Smith becoming quite the comic strip character inventor in How I Wrote Elastic Man. I always thought he sang How I Wrote Plastic. Totally Wired was the Fall's 5th single. It was released as a 45 years ago this week, August 30th, 1980, on the Rough Trade label. Life leaves you surprised, slaps you in the eyes. And there's a lot of surprises with my own podcast here. I promote one thing the week before, and here I am at something different. But surprisingly enough, there's another Punk Rock Tacos outdoor show opportunity, and I'm here at it. I didn't know about this until just 3 days ago, that Noah Corona would be throwing another outdoor bash for Cemitas Poblanas in Villa Park. There's an eclectic mix of bands, and not all of them fit the definition of punk rock. I don't consider Four Horsemyn to be a punk band. Maybe they got their name from the Clash's song about those aggressive fighting individuals who were not part of a football team, the defensive line. I know you're thinking Notre Dame back in the 50s and 60s here. Not in this case. Four Horsemen, however, eclectic in their sound, and it's not always punk. But then again, thrash metal crosses the line between being thrash metal and aggressive hardcore punk. Really hard to define. I last talked to Four Horsemen by phone back on Local Loft episode 283 in June of 2023. At that time, singer Nick Smoots was talking to me about how different the soon-to-be released third album, Persistence of Pestilence, would be from The Cost of War. That was a concept album mostly about the evils of war and the psychotic leaders who rage it and enforce it. This one is a concept album about pop culture, as Four Horsemen gets on a soapbox from everything from Johnny Depp's estranged girlfriend Amber Heard, they call her Amber Turd, to the evils of guns and gun violence in the Big Bang, to media fear-mongering over every single disease that elicits a pandemic of sorts. I'm sick, you're sick. So it's definitely a mixed bag of different subjects. The Four Horsemen tackles, I've got all 4 band members this time around, and I'll talk to them after they play Punk Rock Tacos. They're the first to go on. And another band who certainly is the farthest thing from punk rock, Sons of Ra, they're actually playing here tonight. Eric Golden, Keith Wakefield, the band who mixes progressive metal and hard rock with sultry instrumental jazz. And there's even a band called Taco Tuesday. Now, Noah Corona has been staging quite a lot of punk rock taco shows in the summer of 2025, indoors, not outdoors. This is the exception. I have news on the metal front, and it's good for those of you waiting for the long-awaited second album from Grave Rain. Tony Engel and David Schenkel have been in the studio working hard, cutting tracks for that second follow-up album. I'll let you know a little more about it. The Skies Are Shifting was certainly a band who took the shifting in their name seriously. It was aggressive, upbeat, pop punk, and it was hardcore metal mixed together. A combination that wouldn't work in a million years, but they made it work when they laid it on a packed audience at Wire in Berwyn 6 years ago this week. Local Loft episode 395. The original Chicagoland metal, punk, alternative rock, and power pop scene is always full of surprises. Some which you never see or hear coming until they spontaneously just happen and spring up around you. Keep up with all those changes and surprises with every episode of this podcast.
Welcome to the second outdoor punk rock taco show at Summit! And now, the second half of the band who makes lunch better, Four Horsemen.
Other bands, that's how you work with.
Write that name again in this list of
They were given all the foods of vanity and all the instant promises of immortality, but they bit the dust screaming insanity. Four Horsemen. Well, that's the Clash's interpretation of Four Horsemen from London Calling back in '79. I have a different interpretation of Four Horsemen. I last talked to their singer Nick Smoots, episode 281 back in June of 2023, and Persistence of Pestilence was not done at that time, their third album, but since then it's been out. And Nick, I got to ask you, are you guys working on anything new? This one, by the way, as opposed to Cost of War, which I would say was totally a concept album about war and maybe anti-war. This one's all over, like it's maybe you guys are pissed off more at pop culture than war, because you have a song that's anti-Johnny Depp's girlfriend, you have a song that's anti-gun. I mean, it's all over the place, this one.
So we are anti-everything. So our next album is the fourth of the apocalypse, which is death. We're currently working on it. We're about 3 or 4 songs in. We'll probably be done with it. We'll call it June of next year.
Definitely. I agree.
And what are you going to be pissed off lyrically with this album? Maybe POTUS number 47?
Probably. Everything that we can be pissed off at, we're going to be pissed off at it.
For thousands of years, humanity lived in peace, without any murders or violence at all. And then, firearms were invented.
Around and people start to run. And when I feel the heat, I kick down that door and people to the street. Death rings out, coming from the sky. That's when you know you're about to die. The screaming that's coming from the street. Bang, 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 we're about to meet. I got a brand new beat. When they gun around and people hit the ground, and damn it, my heart starts to beat. Blood starts to pour raining down in sheets. Death rings out, coming from the sky. That's when you know you're about to die. The screaming is coming from the street. Bang, 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 we're about to meet.
I know you had a song in your set here at Punk Rock Tacos that mentioned sex with the devil. Well, I don't know if you've seen the latest episodes of South Park, because POTUS number 47 crosses that line.
Oh yeah, to be honest, it was a fluke. Like The Simpsons, we predicted it well in advance. But yeah, it's actually probably one of our most polished songs out there.
Yeah, this one's going to be appearing on the 4th album. It's The Devil That You Know, and it kind of fits in perfectly with South Park at this time.
Worked in more ways than 4.
Would you guys say you're picking up a really wide audience of different people with your music? I imagine it's just not one group, but I can't classify you either straight punk or straight metal. You're kind of like a combination of both.
So we are punk and roll with horror punk and a little bit of metal. We don't quantify as a certain genre, but just because we all have a very diverse taste in music. He likes Sleep Token. Johnny likes Sleep Token for some reason. Yeah. And Bob likes that guy who sings about margaritas and flip-flops.
Jimmy Buffett?
That's it.
I've lost many a flop to that song.
Yeah, I don't think anybody knows what genre to actually put us in. I think we've been listed as pretty much everything under the sun. But
you got a little something for everyone.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to be a smorgasbord. Get ready for the 4th album from Four Horsemyn when it comes out. And I want to thank Nick. And who else do I have here?
You got JJ on guitar,
Johnny on drums,
and Bob on the bass.
It's the first time I've had all 4 of Four Horsemen here, and thanks again, guys.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The infected die to spread venomous disease, while the bodies lie by eating the meat. The death spreads. There's no end to retreat. Look to the sky, to the cosmic machine. Persistence of pestilence. Persistence of pestilence. Persistence of pestilence. Persistence of pestilence. Now the virus thrives, humans die in the streets, nowhere to hide. It lives where you breathe, the dead spread. There's no end to retreat, we all will die. In your grave it will keep persistence of pestilence. Persistence of pestilence. Persistence of pestilence. Persistence of pestilence.
Maybe you were amongst the crowd that was screaming and shouting, "It's way too fucking cold out here." Yeah, this is August? Temperatures dipping into the 50s? Really? You had your body heat and all that jumping and screaming around Chicago's own Revel Noise to keep you warm. So maybe you didn't notice the drastic chill that's upon us. You're going to be freezing your balls off come Monday. Too bad there's not a punk rock tacos to heat things up. Actually, Noah Corona had a bonfire going tonight, so that kept you warm too. He's thinking ahead. Revel Noise, the aggressive punk quartet out of Chicago, was the last band on tonight at the surprise pop-up punk rock tacos. And there's much more to come, including a charity event September 12th inside Cemitas Poblanas that features James the Boneless. You can find out more about that by going to Punk Rock Tacos Facebook page. The big surprise amongst the bands who played here was Sons of Ra. I really didn't expect the eclectic jazz, metal, hard rock mixture of Eric Oldman and Keith Wakefield to be a part of this mostly, but not totally, punk rock gathering. Sons of Ra, of course, won over some new fans amongst this all-ages crowd. But I'll bet you didn't know, Keith Wakefield and Eric Oldman actually have another band together, the trio known as KW3. Now this in addition to Sons of Ra. From what I've been checking out on their Spotify and YouTube clips, certainly is a little more hard rock than it is jazz fusion and even sophisticated jazz. I'm going to play you Vasker from Sons of Ra's most recent third release. After we check out a bit of KW3, Eric Oldman's first band, Beneath the Stairs, had a surprise reunion 6 years ago this week at Livewire Lounge. And that was the first time I introduced Local Loft audiences to them since I talked to Eric and scat precision singer Lisa LaGrasso. Lisa has that fast scat style that was famous amongst jazz singers. Think Louis Armstrong, Louis Prima, and so many others back in the 40s and 50s. KW3 has a special benefit event August 24th, this coming Sunday. You can find out more about that at either Eric Oldman's Facebook page or Beneath the Stairs or Sons of Ra. KW3 is a mixture of covers and originals. One of the covers they do, by the way, and I bring this up only because this coming Wednesday is the 35th anniversary, the tragic helicopter crash death of Stevie Ray Vaughan. And on his posthumous album, The Sky is Crying, which was released almost a year after he died, his cover of Chitlins Con Carne from Kenny Burrell is featured. Stevie handles that as bluesy as any of his other instrumentals like Riviera Paradise testify. Sons of Ra, this is a little bit more sophisticated and laid back. There's more saxophone than there is guitar. This is one of the originals from KW3, Nature Boy on Local Loft.
Thank you very much. We're Sums of Rap. And, grateful to be here tonight. Thank you for you all for coming out in this ridiculously fucking cold weather.
No, we're not going to do rock tonight. No, I'm sorry. My name's Eric. The guy on my right is so we're going to play some tunes.
By adding Keith Wakefield and his incomparable sax playing, Sons of Ra certainly has added an R&B and soulful element to their combination of jazz and hard rock, a fusion that works very successfully even though they've never experimented with a lead singer. Eric Oldman, Keith Wakefield, and Sons of Ra play Reggie's Rock Club on Thursday, October 2nd. Go to reggieslive.com for more about that. The diverse mixture of talent is once again getting ready to rock Bird Park. The date has been set for Saturday, September 20th for Kankakee Estival Festival. And unlike last year, this year will not feature any surprise reunions. Last year, you had Redneck Remedy, surprising us all with that barnstorming performance. You'll have to wait until October 11th for Chaos on the Kankakee at the Office, right on the river. Redneck Remedy returns with The Suffering, the band featuring head DJ and program director of Rebel Radio, Scott Davidson, Dead and Buried, and Wolf Dozer. I'll have more about that as we get closer to it. On tap for this year's Estival Festival, and as I ran back and forth to catch some of their set and most of Redneck Remedies, which was happening at the same time at Estival Festival on 2 different stages, Carrying Torches returns. And hopefully, Mother Nature won't play havoc with them. Excessive Rain washed out. Carrying Torches July returned at Merchant Street Music Fest. They are amongst the familiar names, along with Lee Evan and the Lowdown, Astro Circus. Shaper is back again, and hopefully their performance won't be as explosive as last year, and I say that because a fuse blew. The band lost power during their set, and it was a pretty scary situation. There was also Full of Moxie as far as punk bands go. The band who contained former Carrying Torches bassist Mike Bass also playing. The only prominent metal band from the Kankakee area who will be playing. They were there last year, and I got my first chance to interview them in a long time. Effin' Epic with Cody and Travis Zupan. There's also spoken word comedy set to rock, courtesy of Scrubby Dubby. And like Sons of Ra, Biso and Friends is an eclectic mixture of rock, Americana, jam band, and funk. They really have a Grateful Dead psychedelic acid rock vibe going for them. Singer and founder Neil Beeson, he has added his own vocal touch, rather soulful and funky-like in its own right. So they're not totally instrumental like Sons of Ra. Lots of people from Beeson and Friends, September 20th at Kankakee Estival Festival, Local Loft.
Lots of people all around, lots of people on the ground, lots of people all around, lots of people all around, all around. Lots of people all around, lots of people on the ground, lots of people all around, lots of people all around, all around. Lots of people all around, lots of people on the ground, lots of people all around, lots of people all around, all around. Lots of people all around, lots of people on the ground, lots of people all around, lots of people all around. Lots of people feeling fly, lots of people are getting high, lots of people up on the ground, and lots of people all around, lots of people are feeling good, and lots of people up in my hood, and lots of people are doing things, and lots of people are dancing. What the hell are you doing here, man? You know, yeah, but it's pretty crazy nights and all around. Yeah, man, let's go up and check it out. Here goes the band playing. All around. Lots of people 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 all around.
Thank you all so much. We got one more song. We're Shaper. Man, there's a lot of good people.
We're Shaper, and you're rocking with Tin Lamping on the Local Loft.
Shaper gets punchy, and in the process they reference another band. Without printed lyrics in front of you, sometimes it's really hard to comprehend unless you have a very good, keen pair of ears. But I thought I heard Fist of the Sky in there. They're not really referencing the band featuring Mickey Murder. We checked them out last on episode 390 not too long ago from Q Bar and Darien last month. Adam Jackson, Garth Johnson, Justin Williams of Shaper, they all told me that their lyrics stem from everyday situations, going to work, getting up, trying to face and beat the rat race, but they have such a free form and surrealistic way of presenting images in their songs that it really makes it hard to believe that's about everyday life. Last Right is just about that. And the other songs on the newly released Get Well EP, the second from Shaper, they'll play more songs from it when they play Kankakee Estival Festival, second year in a row, Saturday, September 20th in Bird Park. And I'm sure they'll be extra careful this time around because of the explosive incident that stopped their set. And it was scary to think that maybe one of them got burned or singed or scorched by the blown fuse from one of their amps and electrical equipment. Go to Shaper's Facebook page for more details. Getting ready to re-explode. Can your speakers take it? Crank it up and find out. Is Grave Rain. David Schenkel on his Facebook page has dropped hints that he and Tony Engel are working on the second Grave Rain album. It's come down to final mixes with layers of guitars, orchestral arrangements, and Tony has just laid down his final vocal for 2 tracks on the follow-up to Destination Aftermath, which is already a 4-year-old album at this point in time. Tony's had plenty of things to keep him busy, including Blockchain Coalition, who's been working on a follow-up to The New Normal, their debut, and The Demon has even laid down guitar tracks for that. Early on, if you caught my interview last fall with BCC from Tony D's in Elmwood Park, you heard them say that in the early beginnings of Blockchain Coalition, David Schenkel actually was a member. But Grave Rain has been the big project between him and Tony. The first album, Destination Aftermath, with its medieval images, Lord of the Rings-ish sci-fi fantasy world. Don't know how Grave Rain is going to change that or improve on it. It's very cinematic in nature. David Schenkel is even getting around to remixing and adding new guitar parts to his past Manowar work. He first joined the band on their 1988 album The Triumph of Steel, was with them till 1992, and newly remixed versions of a couple Triumph of Steel tracks will be out soon on streaming platforms. And then there's the other bands Schenkel has been in, including Feener. Even though he left the band 2 years ago, he has contributed to arrangements, both vocal and guitar, of a track Feener just released in early August. It's been their first new song in almost 4 years. Featuring David Schenkel on guitar, Sirens of Death from Feener on Local Loft.
Hey, it's Tony and Dave from Grave Rain. We have awoken from our slumber. And we will come to your country and crack the foundation that you are standing on. Be ready.
Re-Enter the Dragon. No karate involved here. But if you take a look at the teaser video for On the Wings of Fear, and it's a brand new teaser video of only 1.5 minutes length. You'll see fire-breathing dragons in full, stunning 4K 3D. That, of course, will not be a part of the next Grave Rain album. It was a part of the first one. It led off Destination Aftermath when it was released in the fall of 2021. We're coming on 4 years of it. But David Schenkel dropping the news that him and Tony Engel are collaborating and recording 2 tracks for the follow-up album, the long-awaited follow-up. I got news in the fall last year in October of 2024 that Grave Rain would be resurrected. Tony has laid down vocals and David Schenkel has contributed orchestral bass for 2 new tracks, which are just about to be finished. There may be a chance, an outside chance, very unlikely, but it just might happen, that new Grave Rain songs will be played by Blockchain Coalition during their show at JJ Kelly's in Lansing, September 6th. With a rising fall and thrilling brilliance. Go to Blockchain Coalition's Facebook page for more about it. Whether you're firing up your tunes for the first time or hoping to blaze a trail for so many listeners and fans to follow, get me Tim Lamping your music at Local Loft. The future is indeed bright, if not fiery white hot, that many around the world will get all fired up to rock out more to whatever you lay down. MP3 waiver flack, or get me a CD, vinyl, LP, cassette, reel-to-reel tape, timlamp1 at yahoo.com, timcatdj@gmail.com. Send me an email, I'll send you a mailing address before you send me any physical stuff. Download every episode of Local Loft on podbean.com, stream it on Amazon Music or the Podbean app. So there's been a lot of diversity in this episode 395. From the straightforward, aggressive, punk meets thrash metal mixture of Four Horsemyn to the funky, hard rock and metal fusion and melding of Sons of Ra to the medieval 80s old school style metal of Grave Rain. An eclectic and unique mixture of punk pop, thrash, and hardcore metal from The Skies Are Shifting doesn't seem out of place. And they laid that on a packed pogoing audience at Wire in Berwyn 6 years ago this week. We rock back to it. It's Tim, and I will see you at Palmer Place in LaGrange, one of my favorite eating and drinking establishments, for Cheryl Rohde, who will be featured on episode 396.
Thanks for sticking around, guys. It's a little intimidating. Those 3 fucking titans of bands that are still around here. This song's called Cocaine Clouds, and what it's gonna be. My buddy over here wants to show you that Nick Smoots was brought to you by Local Loft.
I forget just how easily you can be replaced in my mind. I know that we're just stupid kids passing the time, but this one seems to sting more than the rest. Hard-hitting lyrics, folks, but once you're headbanging and moshing extreme, it takes a while to understand the lyrics of The Skies Are Shifting, or, focus your ears on those lyrics, I should say. That is a line from their latest single, Long Sleeve. This band out of Chicago has been around for about a good year or so. They had a EP out in December of last year, called Embers on the Windowsill. And this is a first track in a couple that will follow in a follow-up release. I can't tell the players apart without a scorecard. Jack is right in front of me. Guys, why don't we do like romper room style and you introduce yourself to the audience out there.
Jack, I play guitar.
I'm Ian, I'm the bassist.
I'm Mike, I'm the drummer.
I'm Johnny, I play guitar.
And who we're missing here is Nick, and he is one of the singers.